I'm from Argentina. I grew up in hyperinflation, which means I have never seen a year where the Argentinian inflation has been below 40%. This means people are escaping the Argentinian peso in any way they can. And since the pandemic, stablecoins became extremely popular way for people to put their money in a place where it's not diluted by the new printing of Argentinian pesos. And that was in the form of USDT and USDC in Argentina.
5 years ago, I was working at the intersection of digital assets, card networks, and blockchains. And I understood that payments one day will have to go faster with a solid unit of account for the dollar on chain. At the time, stablecoins were an experiment, but it was inevitable for me that we would eventually have regulated stablecoins at large scale, distributed on chain.
Historically, the tech and fintech and payments ecosystem have always relied on third-party bank relationships. It's very rare that a large consumer-facing business, tech company, payments firm has its own bank licenses. Things are changing these days, but historically that has been the case. The tech stack has always been somewhat segregated from the bank stack. Again, stablecoins allow these two worlds to merge and compress, and by launching a stablecoin, you are really able to take control of the money of your ecosystem. You are effectively issuing your own digital dollar, and by doing that, you can reap all of the economics incentives associated with owning that money, owning those digital dollars.
Global commercial distribution has historically been defined by very clear geopolitical borders. With global commerce, we've already seen in the past decades how these geopolitical borders have blurred and lowered. Trade globally has grown a lot because of global initiatives to reduce friction at the border. In finance, this is happening in the form of stablecoins. Stablecoins, especially regulated stablecoins with Genius, are now giving the possibility not only to financial players, but also to the rest of the commercial stack to take advantage of this elimination of borders.
Banks spend a lot of money, and unless you've worked at a bank, it's hard to realize how complex it is to build product with banks, because the infrastructure has started in the 70s, and their tech infrastructure has been a build-out on top of that, where each bank has a different layer. Blockchains throw all of that away and start with a standard blockchain infrastructure with standard APIs, which allows builders, two people in their garage, to build a fintech app that is safe and using regulated products that a normal person can access on the other side. So essentially, by changing the infrastructure, you change all of the economics of the product, which makes it massively accessible to lots of new people. And that's why over 1% of all dollars now exist in the form of stablecoins, up from close to 0 5 years ago.
Stablecoins are the inevitable migration of trillions of dollars of money supply on-chain.
Stablecoins are a way for people to exercise their economic freedom, and we believe that that use case has a huge potential of expansion, which is great for the participants, essentially my mom, my grandma, but also great for the dollar itself, establishing as a dominant asset globally.
Anchorage Digital is the most qualified bank in the world to open this opportunity to commercial clients.